Husband is upset that I work with former affair partner. Hello, as the title says, I'm in a difficult situation. It has been 3 months since my husband found out about my affair, and we are working towards fixing our marriage and moving past this. Unfortunately, the man that I cheated with is a coworker, and I see him only in passing daily. My husband is very bothered by this and has brought it up repeatedly to me and to our marriage counselor. I completely understand why this would bother him, but I do honestly feel he's being a bit paranoid. I go out of my way to avoid seeing him, and he seems to do the same. We haven't spoken, except about work, to each other since my husband found out and I broke things off with him. When we do interact, it is strictly professional, and we are very cold to each other. However, my husband doesn't see any of this and worries that we're still secretly meeting up. At our last counseling session, he brought it up again and suggested that I look for somewhere else to work since this has been weighing on him. I absolutely love my job. It's been a dream job of mine since college, and I get great pay and amazing benefits from it. I explained this to both of them, but my husband refused to listen to me at all. Our counselor said she saw my side and understood why I would not want to leave my job, but she also said that it wasn't unreasonable for my husband to dislike me working with my ex-affair partner. I do see his side, but this seems so extreme to me. This would affect both of us financially since we both make around the same amount, so our joint income would be cut in half. Am I in the wrong for being so opposed to the idea of leaving this job? Edit. For those asking, my former affair partner is in the same department as me, and our cubicles are diagonal from one another. I cannot avoid seeing him during the day. I also cannot avoid speaking to him since I need to ask him questions about work. Our conversations are no longer sexual at all and are actually very cold and brief now. We didn't end on good terms, and there were a lot of unresolved feelings, so we're both short with one another. I have considered asking if I could move to another cubicle or if I could transfer to another department where I won't see him as much. I don't know if it's possible, though. Even if I did, I would still run the risk of seeing him in the break room and around the building. We have another meeting with the counselor next week, and I will bring up the possibility of moving cubicles or departments. My husband has been very quiet and not spoken to me much since our last meeting. I haven't brought it up since I don't want to fight, but it feels like he resents me for still working there. I know the cheating was my own fault and I regret it so much, but it does feel like he's doing this to hurt me back or get some kind of revenge, since he knows how much this job means to me. Update 2. After a meeting alone with our counselor, husband did not attend, I have decided to start looking for new jobs. I will still remain at my current job until I find something new. My counselor told me that this was very important to my husband and that she felt remaining at my job and seeing my ex-affair partner so often would hold us back from reconciling our marriage. I have mixed feelings, but this marriage is important to me, and I am willing to make this sacrifice. I told my husband, and he seemed happy and mentioned some places that I could apply to. Thank you to the people who commented and offered advice. Update 3. It's been a long time since I last made a post, but a lot of things have happened. In my last post, I mentioned how I was planning to quit my job. Unfortunately, I did not. I kept delaying it week after week. I guess in the back of my mind, I thought / hoped my husband would come around in the end. I thought he'd see and accept that my affair was truly past me and that quitting my job and ruining my career was a stupid move. But he did not. After about 2 months of this, he asked for a divorce. We're in the final stages of our divorce at the moment. I only got myself to blame for this. I wish more than anything that I had taken my husband's request seriously. My days are dreary, and I dread the thought of another day, facing the scrutinizing glances of everyone. I want this to end. I want my pain to end. I wish I could simply close my eyes and wake up 20 years in future. Story 2. When I, or 30 male, found out about the affair from my wife, who admitted it after she was caught, I had to leave the house. It was the second time it had happened in that home. The previous time was 5 years ago. We worked through it and healed. It just didn't feel like my home anymore, so I went to stay with friends. I got whiff that AP might be spending some nights at my house. The thought of AP and my wife in our home, doing what they do, laughing at me, my own mind going crazy, was too much. That weekend, I packed all my stuff and moved my stuff out to storage. I didn't want another man touching my stuff. AP is also married, His wife kicked him out when she found out. Now I'm afraid that what I just did by moving out was to open the door for him to move in. I'm still trying to figure things out, so no idea if I want to work through it, since it's the second time. But now I feel I just enabled their continued affair. My wife has also told me that me moving out left a void for her, emotionally. But she's still continuing the affair. If I move back in just to block him moving in, what signal am I sending? I am not sure I even want to spend a night there, even if in the guest bedroom. I feel that if I visit the home and see his suitcase, it will just kill me inside. I feel like less of a man because it's like I am afraid to face the issue in my own home and ran away. But I also don't want to run back into the home based on emotional jerk reaction. She owned the house before marriage. It's not technically mine. No kids. Update 1. I make this post as I'm sitting here in the wreckage of my marriage. This is the second time that my wife had cheated, and I am not sure our marriage is going to survive. But that's not the point of this post. I, mid-30s says, blame myself for all this and feel I deserve it because of something I had done a long time ago. Story. Right after college, when I was young, making dollar and stupid, I cheated on my girlfriend at the time. It went on for a few months with a coworker, and I decided to end it and focus on my relationship instead. I never told my girlfriend at the time. I took the view that it was a mistake, and I wanted our relationship to grow instead. We broke up naturally a year later because we grew apart. Fast forward 10 plus years to today. When I sit here on the other side, seeing my own relationship wrecked by infidelity twice, I can't help this gnawing feeling that 1. Someone, God, is taking an eye for an eye. 2. I deserve this because I had wronged someone in the past. 3. I am no better than my wife who cheated. Only difference is she got caught. I tell myself that it was over a decade ago. I learned from my mistake, have grown and haven't done it again or thought about it. And I've learned that infidelity is not the way to communicate problems, the hard way. Yet whether it's offhand comments from other people, once a cheater, always a cheater, or my own mind struggling with my current situation, I'm now back to feeling like this is happening because I need to repent for the sins of my past. I felt like this the first time my spouse cheated, but now it's happened to me again. It's like how we kind of wish in our hearts our WS won't have successful relationships in the future, but it's my reality. I know I am blaming myself for my wife having an affair, but I don't know how to overcome this. I know I am asking a sub of others surviving, so maybe a previous cheater asking for advice gets a, "You got what you deserve." Maybe this is just going to be my life now. How can I find love again with my own past sins following me? I guess I don't deserve it. Logical conclusion. Final update. It's been 1.5 years since D-Day and almost 1 year since divorce itself. We were married for 3 years, dating for 7 prior. In my marriage, I felt very manipulated and gaslighted by her actions. She had an affair with a married man. Second affair, I forgave the first one, and I immediately walked out. I don't know what is happening with her now, nor do I care. I, 34 male, started dating and met a wonderful young lady. We are long distance and the relationship has been healthy and great, giving me space to continue to grow, heal. However, the deeper I get into this new relationship, the more anxiety I feel. A comment about how she is very busy and can't really spend time for a week triggers intense emotions of my ex, who used the cover of being busy at work to hide her affair. Every comment on any action, like an improper joke, puts me so on edge. She never makes it a personal attack, just points out the action and how she doesn't like it. But my ex made every wrong move a personal attack. What kind of man does this? Why would you? I'm afraid to communicate my needs. My ex used my own vulnerability against me. She would purposely pull away when I wanted to discuss issues and called me needy, yet scolded me for not being there for her, even using manipulative statements that implied if I wasn't there for her, she wouldn't reach out anymore and we'd grow apart. This made me feel abandoned emotionally. I understand that I didn't set proper boundaries in my marriage and am conscious to not let that happen again. Yet the fear and anxiety freezes me. I am afraid I will be hurt the same way again because I am still hurting. Yet at the same time, objectively, nothing in my current relationship actually raises any of the same flags. I am definitely projecting a lot. I'm afraid to bring all of these issues up. I am afraid that I blame too many of my problems on my ex. I am normally able to work through my anxiety, but this time it's been 2 weeks and it's not going away. In terms of other aspects of my life, I moved into a big new apartment, got a new job where my growth trajectory is much steeper, using quarantine, work from home to spend more time with my parents too. I feel like I have my shit together, but I don't. Has anybody else hit a similar wall in their recovery? Any advice welcome. I'm really sorry you're going through this. It's completely understandable that you're feeling conflicted and anxious. Dealing with infidelity is incredibly tough, especially when it happens multiple times. Moving out was a natural reaction to protect yourself from more emotional pain, and you shouldn't feel bad about that. It sounds like you're being incredibly hard on yourself, especially with the guilt from your past. Remember that your past mistakes don't define you now. You've grown and learned from them, and it sounds like you're a different person than you were back then. Your ex's actions are her own, and you didn't deserve to be treated this way. It's also okay to feel anxious in your new relationship. It's part of the healing process. It might help to communicate these feelings with your new partner. Transparency can build trust and understanding, which is crucial after what you've been through.